good evening. This is Miss Albiter, and today I will be teaching you how to divide fractions. Before we begin, let me go over the materials that we need. So we're going to need a journal or math journal. We need markers, glue, scissors, construction paper, and you also need to have access to your technology device. It can be your computer, your laptop, or your phone. It will work. Okay, so before we begin, I want to go ahead and see what do we know about fractions. What do we know about division, first of all? So anytime I have a number 10 divided by 2, what does that represent? What does it mean? Great, you are correct. Anytime we divide, that means we're dividing equally. We're dividing into groups. We have a total number and we have groups. So in this case, I have my total number is 10 chocolates, and I want to divide 10 chocolates into 2 people. So I will make 2 people right here, and each of them are going to get 5 chocolates. Delicious. So anytime we divide, we try to group together a certain amount equally into the different number of groups. Well, that's exactly what today's lesson is going to be about. But instead of doing whole numbers, we're going to learn how to divide fractions. So before we introduce today's lesson, let's go ahead and recall a little bit. What do we know about fractions? How do I call my number on top? What is the name of it? Great, numerator. What about my number at the bottom? Perfect, yes, denominator. So what does a fraction represent? Yes, you are correct, a piece of a whole. So in this case, my fraction is divided into, my whole number is divided into 2 parts, which is my denominator, my total, and 1/2 is actually shaded. Yes, I really like how you know at least some of the basics about fractions. So now that we already know what we're going to be working on, today's objective is the learner will solve division of fractions of whole numbers by unit fractions and unit fractions by whole numbers. So technically what we're doing, we're dividing fractions. But before we start with the lesson, today's vocabulary, we have fraction. A fraction, we know it's a piece of a whole. We have numerator. Numerator, it's my number on top of my fractions. It usually is known as the number of pieces taken or shaded or given to. Denominator, it's the number of pieces my whole number is cut into. So it's usually my total number of pieces, my number at the bottom. Division, we know we're dividing, we're giving a certain amount of pieces into different groups. And today's new word we're going to be introducing, it is reciprocal. Everybody please repeat with me, reciprocal. Great, I love that. Yes, what is reciprocal? Well, when we work with fractions, the reciprocal, for example, if I have 1/2, the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2/1. What happened right here? This fraction, these numbers, they just change position. My numerator becomes denominator. My denominator becomes numerator. So anytime I say reciprocal, you in your head need to know that these numbers change position. So 3/4, the reciprocal of 3/4, it's 4/3. My 4 becomes a numerator, my 3 becomes denominator. Okay, so now that we know what we're going to be working on today's lesson, let me go ahead and go over the agenda. So today, agenda. We're gonna be watching a little short video, which is a very nice song that is gonna teach you a little method of how we're gonna be dividing fractions. We are also creating a foldable. I have some practice problem that we're gonna be working together. Then I have a tic-tac-toe activity that you're gonna be working with a partner if you're in class or at home with your dad, with your mom, with your brother, your sister. And then I have an exit ticket via Nearpod or / homework. So this one you can access it at home at any time you're willing to. Make sure when you do this, make sure you use your notes in your journal, because that way you can reference back if you forget how to do the process. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This is the video. It's a little song. I hope you like it.
Yeah, you know how this go. Keep, change, flip. Simple, right? Divided fractions. Vocabulary. Let's go. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Dividing fractions is easy, that's no lie. You just flip one, yep, then you multiply. Don't flip both, because that'll be strange. You need to keep one exactly the same. Yeah. Then the sign gets changed, division to multiplication, that's okay. Then flip the second fraction like you're on a grill. We multiply what's left, that's really real. Take 3/5 divided by 2/3. Keep, change, flip, that's the word. Keep 3/5 the same, change the sign so we multiply, that's the game. Flip 2/3, we get 3/2, then we can multiply, and so should you. 3 times 3 is 9, 2 times 5 is 10, 9/10 can't reduce it, that's the end. Why do we flip it? I'll explain the math. Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by half. 20 students in your class divided by 2 would be 10 students. All we can do, 20 students in your class times half is 10. You'll see, you get the same thing at the end. Dividing is multiplying by the reciprocal. Keep, change, flip, yeah, that's the simple rule. Keep, change, flip, yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip, yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip, yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip, yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions.
Okay, I hope you like the little song. So let's recap what the video was talking about. So the video, the little song talks about keep, change, flip. What does that mean? Anytime you divide fractions, in this case, I have an example right here, which is 1/2 divided by 3/4. So according to our little song, and according to this method I'm gonna teach you for you to remember how to divide fraction, it says keep, our first step, so we're gonna keep 1/2. So I keep 1/2. Then it says change. I'm going to change my sign to a multiplication sign. And then it says flip. Flip what? I'm going to flip my second fraction. Flip the fraction or make it to its reciprocal. So in this case, 3/4 becomes 4/3. It's equal, and then I just multiply straight across. 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6. I have 4 6. What do you notice in 4 6? Yes, you are correct. They are even numbers, meaning that I can divide this by 2 and divide this by 2 to reduce my fraction. So 4 divided by 2, it's 2. 6 divided by 2, it's 3. So my final answer is 2/3. So right now, what I want you to do is to have the piece of construction paper that we gathered earlier, fold it in half horizontally. And then you are going to fold it into thirds. Excellent. Okay, once it's folded, you're gonna open it up, cut it all the way till half, like right here. Same thing we do with the other side. Great. So your foldable should look like this. So now, according to our little anchor chart we have here, our first tab, you will label it as keep. Second tab, change. And my third tab will be flip. Okay? So I have some practice problems right here. We're gonna choose one. And it's 1/12 divided by 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and write it down right here. And it's going to be 1/12 divided by 1/4. According to my first tab, it says keep. So I'm going to keep my 1/12. Then my second tab, it says change. So I'm going to change my division sign for multiplication. And then my last tab, it says flip. So my fraction is 1/4. When I flip that fraction, becomes its reciprocal of this fraction, the numbers changes position. So it becomes 4/1. I have a multiplication problem. How do we multiply fractions? You are correct, straight across. So in this case, we're gonna multiply 1 times 4, it's equal to 4. 12 times 1 is equal to 12. What do you notice in 4/12? Yes, it's multiples of 4. Yes, multiples of 2. Correct. Okay, so let's go ahead and reduce this fraction. So if I reduce this by 4 divided by 4, 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. So my final answer is 1/3. Equivalent fraction for 4/12, it's 1/3. Can I reduce this if I do it divided by 2? If I do it by multiple by 2? Yes, you may. So if I have 4/12 divided by 2, it becomes 2/6. But we still have multiples of 2's. So I can just divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 becomes 1/3. Do we have the same answer? Yes. So in this case, anytime you have two multiples of the same, I would recommend you to try the highest because you're gonna avoid one extra step. So now that we have our foldable with our example, what I want you to do is to grab your math journal and you're going to glue it Put glue in the middle tab and you're going to glue it in your journal like this. So you can just fold it like that and you will have it for your notes. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna put our title for our notes, dividing fractions and the tick is 5.3 L. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure on the tick. Yes, 5.3 L. Dividing fractions. So we're gonna have 2 more problems that we're gonna work together. My first problem is example number 1, and it's 3/4 divided by 2. So we said that we're gonna keep it. We're going to keep it because it, according to our foldable, I have 3/4. Change. I'm going to change my sign of division to multiplication. Flip. Yes, you're wondering how I'm gonna flip a whole number. But remember last time we were in class, we were discussing that anytime you have a whole number, to set it up as a fraction form, you just have to put a 1 underneath. So if I have a 5, you're gonna place a 1. If I have a 10, you're gonna place a 1. If I have 100, you're gonna place a 1. So anytime you have a whole number, to change it to a fraction format, you just put over 1. So I'm going to put over 1. According to my foldable, my last step is to flip. So 2/1, once I flip it, numbers change position and it becomes 1/2. I will multiply straight across. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 2 is 8. 3/8 is my answer. Can I reduce this fraction? I love your answers. Yes, we cannot, because my numerator it's a odd number. My denominator is even number. There's nothing I can do with this fraction. So I go ahead and circle my answer. Let's try one more example. I have example number 2. And my example number 2 says 3 divided by 1/6 equals. According to my foldable, I really want you guys to use the foldable because this is what's gonna help you stay on track. Keep, change, flip. Keep, I have a whole number. So we discussed earlier that anytime I have a whole number, I have to set it up as over 1. So for example number 2, I have 3/1. Keep, I'm going to keep my first fraction. Change the sign to a multiplication, and then flip. Do the reciprocal. So it becomes 6/1. Straight across multiplication, 6 times 3. Very good, 18. 1 times 1, 1. Anytime I have 18/1, yes, you are correct. We can just leave it as 18 as a whole number. Okay? So right now, what we're gonna be doing is we can close our journal, or we can have it. Let's have it, because the next activity you can actually write on your journal. So fold your foldable, have a piece of paper, and let's check our agenda. So far we have watched our video, we have created a foldable, we have practiced some problems. Now it's time for us to work on our tic-tac-toe activity with a partner. So if you're in my class, we will probably have these in the classroom ready for you to just grab and find a partner and play. In this case, you're at home, you can just copy this little square. You can just copy the square, and you can go ahead and just have it in your journal. Okay, so let me show you how you're gonna play this game. So let's say, according to the directions, it says that one player will pick one of the 9 problems. Solve the problem on a dry erase board. your answer should be found on the tic-tac board. Place an X or an O over the solution to your problem. And cross out the problem you just solved. If your answer cannot be found on the board, then your answer is incorrect. So let me show you an example. Let's say I pick number 4. Can I pick any order? Yes, you may pick any order. So number 4 says 4/5 divided by 1/9. According to my foldable keep, I'm going to keep 4/5. Change, I'm going to change my sign. And then flip, I'm going to flip my fraction, reciprocal. 9 times 4. Yes, you are correct. 36. 5 times 1, 5. So now, what do I have here? 36 over 5. We discussed this 2 weeks ago about proper fractions, improper fractions, and mixed fractions. Yes, I love how you got it. Improper fraction. So 36 over 5, I can easily divide 36 by 5. So I can do 5 times 7 is 35. 1 remainder. So this fraction is equal to 7 1/5. I go ahead and look on my board, and I do have 7 over 1/5, so I put an X there. So I keep trying and scratch out number 4. Then I go to number 1. I want to do number 1. So number 1 says 3 divided by 1/4. Let's pretend I forget to do my next step. 3 over 1 times, I forget to flip my fraction. So I end up with 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 1 is 4, 4/3. I check on my answers. Do I have 4/3? No. So I already lose my turn. Then the second person, your partner, it's their time. So that person notices that you forgot to change the second fraction. So he's gonna solve it because he knows he will get it. So now we have keep 3 over 1, change, and then the reciprocal 4 over 1. So it becomes 3 times 4 is 12 over 1. Do I need to put it up over 1? No, that means you only have a 12 whole number. Do I have a 12 on my answer choices? Yes, right here. So I put a circle. So anybody that, and you keep playing and give it a try, anybody that end up having a vertical, to get 3 in a row, horizontal, vertical, or diagonal, wins. So in this case, let's say it's your turn and you're able to find this and you're able to find this, then you win. Okay, so you can win like this, you can win like this, or you can win like this. So you need to show me in your journal how you're solving so I can check. You're gonna let me know who was your partner, and you're going to let me know the number of each problem. Okay, so for this activity you will have 10 minutes to play. Okay, so now 10 minutes have passed. For your last activity on our agenda, it says exit ticket via Nearpod homework /homework. But before we do this, I want us to recap what we did today. So can somebody tell me what was our objective for today? Yes, you are correct. Our objective for today was the learner will solve division of fractions of whole numbers by unit fractions and unit fractions by whole numbers. That was our objective. That's what we learned today. What did we do? We created a foldable keep, change, flip. We also watched that little song, keep, flip, change. Keep, change, flip. And we practiced some problems together. And you got to play with a partner, the tic-tac-toe dividing fractions, correct? Yes. So let me give you instructions for our last assignment. Our last assignment, it's an exit ticket via Nearpod/homework. For this one, you can access it in class or do it at home. It's up to you. What we're gonna do here is you're gonna go to Nearpod, student, and it's gonna ask you for a enter code. The code for this activity is the following: TOJ RU join. When you join, you're gonna type in your name so that way I can grade you. You're gonna find the song that we play at the beginning. You can play it as many times as you want. So
Yeah. You know how this go.
So you can play it as many times you want.
Simple, right?
So you can also take your journal home, or you also have your journal at home with your notes. Then for your homework, there's a quiz on Nearpod. This quiz is 5 questions. As you can see, the problem is 3 divided by 1/2, and then you have multiple choice, A, B, C, and D. Make sure you use your notes. Make sure you use your foldable, and good luck. Hope to see you soon, okay? Have a great evening. Bye-bye.